So, let's see. Good morning, everybody. Monday morning again. I just wanted to double check if I am visible on Facebook. Also have a couple of people here on in Zoom already. Let me see if this is working. Do me a favor, if you can hear me and see me, just write a yes into the chat. That would be absolutely great, so that I can see that everything is working here. Okay. Yeah, looks good to me. Okay. Switch me off here. Looks good. Great. Good morning. Yes, I hope you had a nice weekend. I had an exciting one. I'm sure some of you know, I started karate 2.5 years and I'm now a brown belt. Yes. So I got around the fighting. Usually we should have did some fighting, but there was not enough time. To be honest, I'm quite happy. I love the cutters, and but I'm not a big fan of fighting. But it's part of it, so I can live with that. So what I want to talk to you today, let me also see that I can see the Zoom room. If there are some chats, yes, I can see. Hi, there are 5 people there. Let me know from where you are so that I can have a nice overview. I also would, if you feel like you will have some questions, if you scroll down with your mouse, there is a button and says chat, and then you can ask me questions there. What do we want to talk today about? I said today let's discuss business plan. What needs to be in a business plan so that it is sufficient to raise funding. And at the end of the day, there is no difference if you want to raise funding from a private investor, from government institutions, or from commercial banks. A bankable business plan is a bankable business plan, and you definitely need to have the same topics covered. Okay, so let's start. Number one is, please, there are lots of templates out there, and if you want to draft a business plan on your own, please feel free to use some of them. NEF, also CIFA, they have a nice guideline and are able to guide you through the business plan. So let's start with things I've seen. I see around about 3 to 5 business plans each and every day, and I just want to highlight a couple of things to make sure that you covered everything. Number one is absolutely important. Please make sure that all your contact details are on your business plan. So I think it sounds ridiculous, but you have no idea how many times people posted me some business plans. I had no contact details, or they faxed something and then I had no contact details, or they used internet cafes. And there's nothing wrong with submitting business plans like this. But nobody can call you and contact you if there is no telephone number, no email address, nothing in there. Okay? Some first basic step. So the next one is usually the executive summary. This is, I always recommend write this at the end. And this just keep in mind, if you apply for funding, there is the first person who gets now all the documentations. They need to make up their mind which department or which person gets this business plan. So it needs to be clear about how much funding you want, for what you need the funding. Is it a startup and expansion? What industry you are in? So because usually the person who is dealing with the different business loan applications is separated. Okay, this is for agriculture, this is for manufacturer, and IDC has some experts for textile, experts for what else? For heavy machine manufacturing, so that they can quickly see, okay, this is what they want, this is what they are doing, this is the right person. I've read so many business plans, and I didn't even understand what people are offering. It was not absolutely clear. I didn't understand how much funding they were looking for. If you want to apply for funding, this is essential information. Okay? So the next part is, now you need to go a little bit more into detail. Explain your product, explain your services. If you are manufacturing, also have a production process flow diagram, maybe even a copy of a layout of your factory included. Next point is your location. If you want to apply for funding, you need to have an offer to lease. The financier wants to know exactly where you want to set up your new business. They want to know, is there electricity? Is there water? Is everything you need really there? Or do you need to invest in infrastructure to make sure that your setup is really working? Next step is pricing. You have no idea how many times do I read in business plans, we will competitive and we will be cheaper than our competition. Okay, so are you expecting now the financier to go out there and figure out how much the competition charges? How do you even do your financial forecast if you can't say one loaf of bread will cost us 3 rand, we are able to sell it for 6 rand? So specific you need to be. Yeah. Let me quickly go into both Zoom. Are there some questions? No, Zoom doesn't have any question. Let me quickly go also to Facebook. If I can see that if there are some questions. No, it doesn't look like this. Hi, Tabu. Good morning. Great. Okay, so yes, please, if you have some questions in between, feel free just to ask me. So we covered now also your location, we covered your pricing. Now you need to be absolutely clear about who is your ideal client, who are your customers. And if you say everybody, let me tell you, every financier will be not happy with you. You need to be really specific about your target market. If you are a manufacturer, your target market will be maybe retailers. You don't want to sell one roll of toilet paper to end customers. It makes no sense for you. Yeah, concentrate on really your target market. Be absolutely clear about it. And if you want to apply for funding, you always need to have some offtake agreements with other businesses in place. Because the financier wants to make sure that you are able to repay the loan. They want to make sure that you will not fail. They are interested that you are succeeding. And offtake agreements is part of it, that you have a market, that you have an access to the market. Next point is competition. Please write that you have some competition. If you say you don't have some competition, then the worries of a financier is always maybe there is no market, and that's the reason why there is no competition. I've seen some business plans where somebody says, yes, we want to do chicken, and there are no competitors. I'm sure that everybody is able to buy the chickens in some of the supermarkets around there. So you have competition. Don't really say, okay, here is nobody producing eggs in our area, so that's why nobody is able to buy eggs. That's not true. Be realistic, and having competitors is usually a good thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It shows that there is a market available. You just need to see how you get into this market. Okay. So next, your organization. Be absolutely clear about not the organigram, but how many people you need to hire, what you need to pay them so that they will stay with you. Because what you don't want is you don't want to pay people peanuts. Then you train them for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. Then they say, great, thanks very much. I know now everything. I'm looking for a job somewhere else where I get paid higher. Yeah. You want to keep people. You want to have your staff enjoying working with you. So make sure that they feel comfortable, that they stay for you for long, because training people is costing you money, and usually people need a couple of weeks to get used to everything, and then their productivity increases, and this will also then increase your profit. Management. You see, I'm smiling because lots of times I read under management, I will manage the business. And then you're reading this as a financier and think, okay, who is I? So, okay, so of course you can say, I will manage the business. My name is Dagmar. If you write the whole business plan in this form, that's absolutely in order. But then you also need to explain, not only say, I've got expertise and skills, you need to say, okay, either way, I had some tertiary education, or I worked somewhere else before and I had a management position, or whatever you've done before, what is relevant to your business now, please mention it and explain it. And say, I did there 2 years, I worked there, I worked 1.5 years there, I've done this. And it's not only work related, it also can be in relation to some non-profit organization, or you organized, you were the secretary at a church, or responsible for funds and funding in an NPO. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't all need to be work related, but please do me a favor, mention all your experience and expertise in relation to the business you want to set up. Okay. Staff, I mentioned already. Be absolutely clear how many people you need, what you will pay them, and that it is really appropriate payments. SWOT analysis is more about, okay, they want to see that you really reflected on what you want to do. So strength and weaknesses is all related to your business. Opportunities and threats is all related to your industry. Okay, so strength could be what you are good at, experience, access to market. We've done that before. We are really good at what we are doing, and something like this. Weakness can be, okay, so maybe you don't have anybody in as a financial management position is still missing, or you can explain, okay, what we don't have is we are looking for funding. That is a weakness for you. Okay. Opportunities, like I said, is all about what opportunities are there for your industry. Maybe there are some new rules and regulations. That means there is a big opportunity for you. Or the economy is at the moment crumbling. That's why helping people to get self-employed, starting their own business, is a great opportunity. Yeah. Threats are always if there are some changes in legislation. Maybe the market size is declining. You can imagine, I still grew up, maybe most of you wouldn't even know this, we had some cassettes and cassette recorders. So now you don't even use CDs anymore. Most people use USB, or we are downloading directly from the internet our music. This would be, okay, our cassette market is really declining. This is a threat for the whole market. Yeah. Or cost of goods are increasing. Threats for transport industry is usually the increase of fuel and diesel. Yeah. So, and then the last part is the financials. This is usually something what lots of people are really struggling with. So you need to separate, number one is your investment from your monthly expenses. Your investment is once off, okay? It would be equipment, maybe even a rental deposit. Maybe you want to buy a building, or you need to buy some furniture and fixtures. These are things they are once off. This is your investment. Then the other part is your working capital. So now the financier wants to know, okay, how much do you think will you pay each month for accounting? How much will be for bank charges? How much will be for insurance? How much will be for traveling? How much will be for website hosting? And these are each and every month. And if you do then the cash flow forecast, you can say, okay, so I'm do my service delivery today, and end of the first month, I'm sending out the invoices, and my customers are usually paying me then in 30 days. That means you need to have working capital for minimum of 2 weeks, of 2 months. Yeah. And then you can add that also to the loan amount. Yeah. And the last thing I like to mention, okay, you need to be absolutely clear about your unit cost, your unit price, your how many units do you think you will be able to sell. Maybe even in the beginning, think about a day, and then you can calculate it per week and per month. This usually breaks it nicely down, and it will help you also to draft your financial forecast. Okay, let me quickly go back. Are there any, I can see that, why you can't hear? Okay. You need to increase computer the sound. Okay. So I hope Zingo could read that. Great. So what I will do is, if you now say, sounds absolutely great, Dagmar, I can do that on my own, I'm happy, please do that. If you say, no, I don't feel comfortable, I want your help, let me quickly go and I will send you the link, and then you can have a look at our different business plan options, and then you can decide if you want our support. But on this page you also can see what is included in a business plan, and I'm sure that also can help you to draft your own business plan. So I posted this here now in Zoom. I will also post that. Okay, Ndumiso, thanks very much. Very informative. She just wrote. And Tiani wanted to know, does government fund telco startup businesses? Tiani, I'm not too sure what is telco. Do you mean telecom startups? Sorry. Please, if you're still there, just send that again. You can also otherwise contact us directly, and then I'm more than happy to have a look at it. Keep in mind, financiers usually have 20 pages rules and regulations. So if you just telecommunication startups, okay, Diani. I need to know a little bit more about it. I will post you here my email address, then you can email me, because it always depends on, is it a retailer, is it a service industry? I just need to see a little bit more. Funding institutions, government institutions, enterprise development funds, even banks have usually 20 pages rules and regulations. And if there's only one objective, it's not enough. It's like, I always say, it's like you're telling me, buy me a car. I don't even know the color of your car. I'm a woman, so color is obviously important for me, but I have no idea about, is it a Bucky? Do you want a Porsche? You see, so we definitely need to go a little bit more into depth about what you really want to do, and then I'm able to assist you. Yes, I will send you my, post you here my email address, then you can just get in contact, and then we can discuss this any further. I hope this was definitely helpful for you, and please feel free to contact us. You can also share the video if you feel like it, so that we can help as many people as possible to write a bankable business plan, to raise funding, and to start their own business. Yeah? Okay, take care. Let me quickly just post my cursor, so that you have my email address, so that you can contact me. Take care. Enjoy your week. Bye. Oh, Bika. Now, sorry, I still see here some more. My challenge currently is that in order for me to reach a greater market, I need to increase the stock. It has been a financial challenge. I've been applying for funding. What other options can you recommend? Yes, Bika, also please do me a favor. I will put my email address also here in the Zoom room. Contact me, let me have a look. I need to have to know what product or service are you offering, and I also please need to know how much funding you need and what sort of contracts you have. Usually order finance is not so difficult. You just need to know how, okay? Solani, how do you go about getting funding for service industry, massage, spa? Solani, the reality is raise finance from government institutions or other enterprise development funds for retail and also for service industries is really, really challenging. I'm just straightforward with you. There is one way around it. If you find some offtake agreements with other businesses, they will state, okay, here, yes, we need your services for our employees. I know in South Africa, they do some wellness days. Maybe you can have a mobile one and offer services for wellness days. This way you have your offtake agreements in place, and this way you should be able to raise funding. Okay. Yes, Olga, I will also post here my email address, and then you can contact me. Funding, oh yeah, connection.coza. Okay, great. I enjoyed chatting to you. Talk to you soon in more details. Take care. Bye-bye.